Hello, we are Ceruleo, and this is our second album, which is called Voices of Longing. It features music by Barbara Strozzi and some pieces by her contemporaries, some instrumental pieces by Marini, Marula and Frescobaldi.
Barbara Strozzi is a very special composer for Ceruleo. We performed her music in some of our first concerts together back in 2014, and some of those pieces can be found on this album, Voices of Longing. So Merce di Voi, which was one of the first pieces that she published, and Begli Occhi.
We love the music of Barbara Strozzi because it's full of drama and variety, and as two sopranos we get loads of options of things to sing. She wrote so much music for soprano, including two lovely cantatas that Jenni and I sing on this album, which explore not only our full vocal range but also the full range of emotions. The duets are also really dramatic, so sometimes Jenni and I are singing as one voice with one emotion, and sometimes we're competing against each other for the love of someone else or with different characters.
And the way she writes the music in the duets means that there's so many different interpretations that all make sense. So it's really exciting music to explore and to plan how we'd like to perform it as a group, to put the Ceruleo stamp on it.
Barbara Strozzi was raised in an environment of intellectual and artistic creativity in 17th century Venice. And her father, Giulio Strozzi, was a poet, and he introduced her to these academies, these sort of semi-private meetings and performance spaces where people could perform music, poetry, and discuss art, classical myths, all these sorts of things, and how they could intersect with one another. And she would have been introduced then to the music and to the person of Claudio Monteverdi, who was the great musical innovator of the previous generation. She went on to study with Francesco Cavalli, the great opera composer of the time, and she took the innovations of those composers, which was all about putting the text at the forefront of the music. She took these innovations and took them further, went more extreme, more virtuosic vocal writing, more extreme reactions to the text. And we've called it Voices of Longing. The longing in this case can be for love or for a person, but also longing for the answers to your questions, to the nature of human existence. An example of that would be something like Che si può fare, what can one do? Which is really asking, how can I live when the fates seem to be against me? And I think it is quite a profound statement, but also there's a lot of humor in her work, a lot of lightness of touch. One of her characteristics is the sort of slightly quirky ending, and sometimes beginning of the pieces as well, that are a little bit spiky, a little bit hard-edged, and full of humor as well. So we think there's something for everybody.